So, Superman is undeniably one of the most popular superheroes in the world, having starred in multiple films and headlined several comics every month for absolutely decades. And as you might expect, being as popular as that, there are numerous supervillains just lining up around the Bureau de Change who want to knock his bloody block off. But many of them, they're going to be waiting a fair old while because, let's face it, they're not that great. And some of them are just way too crazy to ever appear in any mainline upcoming Superman film. So let's take a look at them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 Superman villains way too crazy for Superman. Number 10. Bloodsport. Now, the first version of Bloodsport was Robert Dubois, a Vietnam draft dodger who went crazy and imagined himself to be a hardened war veteran. His role was succeeded by Alexander Trent, an angry white supremacist who wanted to wreak havoc on the world. Now, the common bond between them was an advanced teleporter in their armor which they used to bring futuristic weaponry to themselves at a moment's notice. Sounds cool, right? But you know what? Apart from that, he's pretty unremarkable in all of the important ways, and notable in all of the wrong ones. His modus operandi consists of having just some guns and kryptonite weapons. It's incredibly unoriginal, and there are hordes of Superman villains who have similar gimmicks. Conversely, on a personal level, he's completely unlikable and rather ridiculous. Both incarnations are crazy, with one being completely unstable and the other being, well, an unstable racist. As a character, he lacks any sort of compelling motive or characterization to go with his rather bizarre theme, so in a movie, he'd amount to little more than a disposable henchman. Number 9. Terror Man. When cowboy Toby Manning was a boy, he was abducted by aliens. They taught him how to use their weapons and sent him back to the present day with their own guns that were modified to look like Old West revolvers. To top off the ensemble, he would often ride around on a flying horse and try to lasso Superman. Now, the updated version of his origin was a little less ridiculous, but still not exactly memorable. Like a version of Poison Ivy, he fought to protect the Earth with the same futuristic revolvers and cowboy gimmick as before. Why a cowboy would want to save the Earth like that with high-tech weaponry? It's weird, isn't it? It's just odd. But good on you, mate. We need more eco-warriors, maybe with less warrior part. You know what I'm trying to say. Now, why he wouldn't work in a film is because Terror Man's identity is built around two concepts that haven't really played well on film in recent years: cowboys and aliens. And that's about the extent of his character. His personality is undefined and his exploits aren't very special. If Superman needed to fight some type of hired gun, using the one who completely reads like a useless and unmarketable gimmick would seem like a rather poor choice. Number 8. ENCANTADORA. Lord Lucero's father finally acquired the fantastic mists of Ibella, only for them to drive him utterly insane. His daughter would instead embrace their power and become Encantadora. Though she would occasionally help Superman, this femme fatale's most memorable enterprise was selling fake kryptonite to criminals. But here's the real problem: she feels like a ton of wasted potential. She was given an immense amount of power, but chose to use it for the most mundane and impractical purposes. But more than that, selling fake kryptonite in a city where the real thing seems to be pretty easily acquirable makes her out to be a fairly inept criminal. Beyond the failings of her character, magic has never really had much place in Superman's world. Sure, it can weaken him, but it doesn't really fit with who he is as a character. And this is all the more true for the movies, where the more comic book style elements of his character seem to be tolerated rather than embraced. Number 7. Microwave Man. One of Superman's first supervillains, Louis Paget, found his way to harness microwaves and use them for crime. Before his initial spree of robberies could continue, though, aliens took notice of his creations and invited him to travel the universe with him. Returning to Earth as an old man, he used the aliens' power to have one final fight with Superman before he died. Though he only appeared in 2 issues, the story of Microwave Man is so stupendous and memorable that his legacy still carries on. Because it's important to remember that even though Superman himself is an alien, it's still a fairly silly notion for the villain to gain his superpowers via alien abduction. Now, in fairness, Microwave Man is exactly why comics exist. That belongs in a more fantasy-orientated world. Unfortunately, though, he hasn't really aged all that well, because at the time of his creation, microwave technology was still a novelty. Now it's an old, familiar discovery that would seem so stupid to see highlighted in a film, especially if it required aliens to make it a serious threat. Number 6. Silver Banshee. After a failed supernatural ritual, Gaelic clan leader Shaban McDougal was sucked into the netherworld and transformed into something inhuman. She's offered a chance to return to the world, but only if she can deliver an occult book to her demon captors. Naturally, that book in question now resides in Metropolis. Under the guise of the Silver Banshee and sporting an otherworldly shriek, she would repeatedly plague Metropolis while trying to retrieve the book and restore herself. But it wouldn't work in a film because, well, she's already appeared on TV and it it didn't really work out that well. And the character looks simply unbelievable in real life, and her ancient Gaelic origins in no way fit with Superman's mythology or the types of films that he stars in. And when you think about it, Superman already has a huge roster of female villains which he could fight off against on the silver screen, so the Silver Banshee is probably going to be very far back in that queue. Number 5. TITANO. Now, the DC universe is no stranger to super-powered apes, but thanks to his special powers, TITANO stands apart. Once a normal chimpanzee, he was experimented on and became supersized, as well as gaining the power to shoot kryptonite beams out of his eyes. Now, his exact origins have been altered somewhat over the years, but he's regularly portrayed as a mindless ape that's been granted super strength and other various powers. In every incarnation, his immediate reaction always seems to just go around just mindlessly destroying the city. And as much as Superman fighting King Kong could be a sight to behold, it's not exactly something that fans are clamoring to see. Somehow a giant superpowered gorilla just doesn't seem to fit in with Superman's story in any realistic or meaningful way. On top of that, because the DCEU is already struggling as it is, introducing a superpowered gorilla might set things back just a little bit. Number 4. Composite Superman. After being saved by Superman and given a job in his museum, Joseph Meach quickly became resentful of the Caped Crusader. One night, while cleaning up, he was struck by a bolt of lightning and given superpowers. Choosing to shapeshift into a green monster, he came up with a costume that was half Superman and half Batman, with the goal of seeking out and humiliating both heroes. Over the years, his identity has been inhabited by other entities, but each one remains as unbelievable as the next, all the while sporting that same over-the-top costume. And I mean, the reason why he just wouldn't work on film is just look at him. There's no possible way something as far-fetched as this could ever exist in the rather hyper-serious world that Superman now finds himself in. There's so many villains based on variants of Superman that if they really wanted to use his opposite, they could easily turn to the likes of Bizarro or Cyborg Superman before they had to stoop as low as possible to use Composite Superman. Number 3. Cancer. When Superman became poisoned with kryptonite, a team led by Dr. Emil Hamilton was quick to save him by removing the main malignant tumor inside of him. Sometime later, General Zod, then a Russian despot, acquired the tumor and brought it to life. The creature he created was massive, gifted all sorts of superpowers, and hated his former father, Superman, for rejecting him. Cancer would then use his toxic touch to seek revenge on Superman and all of his allies. And the reason why this wouldn't work on film is because Cancer isn't exactly super marketable, is it? I mean, just listen to that origin story and tell me that that would work as a film. No, it would not. It's incredibly insensitive. Number 2. Prankster. So when his children's show was cancelled, Oswald Loomis sought out revenge of the executive who pulled the plug. Eventually, his plots of vengeance would expand as he took to all of Metropolis to stage pranks and acts of chaos and crime. Now, over the years, his enterprises have evolved, operating as a distraction for other criminals as well as a cyber criminal. Nevertheless, he always read like a kind of non-threatening knockoff of the Joker. Now, to his credit, the character has been steadily improving over the years, but he's still never really been a real match for Superman. I mean, acid pies and electronic buzzers against the Man of Steel? Really? Prankster's more of an annoyance that acts like a light breather for Superman while he's going between stopping aliens from destroying planets. Now, this function is important in a monthly comic, but films need to go all out each time. There's no desire for Superman to have some downtime during a movie, and thus Prankster feels just useless. And number 1, Mr. Mxyzptlk. So if the Prankster is a thorn in Superman's side, then Mr. Mxyzptlk is the ultimate nuisance. Everyone's favorite imp from the 5th dimension, he shows up on a whim to challenge Superman with his world-bending, albeit light-hearted games from time to time. Despite his preposterous nature, he's been one of Superman's most recurring foes and is beloved by many fans for his fun-loving attitude when compared to Superman's usual foes. But it wouldn't work on film because realistically, there seems to be very few ways to portray this character in a successful way that wouldn't involve completely overhauling who he actually is. His appeal is how unbelievable and over the top both his personality and his powers are, and that just doesn't work on multiple fronts. It would be very tricky to convey his vast powers in live action, and his bombastic attitude isn't really suited for a more serious film. Despite all of this though, the character was very nearly included in Superman 3, so I guess anything is possible, but you know what? We're not holding our breath here. And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 Superman villains way too crazy for Superman on film. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ80, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice, where I do all of my streaming outside of work, and it'd be great to see you over there, my friends. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Hope you're treating yourself well with love and respect, my friends, because you deserve all of the best things in life, and do not let anything or anyone else tell you otherwise, alright? You are the hero of your own story. Now go out there and absolutely smash it today. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.